friends. Today is my 10th presentation on the subject of ethics in real estate and hospitality industry, and today's topic is designing of soft softscape or landscape. Uh, what I intend to include in this today's presentation is the scope of the soft scope design. What are the essential characteristics of a beautiful and robust softscape or landscape? What are the types and key specifications of the softscape materials used, that is the trees and plants, etc. How to incorporate good design practices in the softscape development process. What are the stages of developing the softscape, primarily 5 stages which I am proposing, and how to build quality in the designing process using the software. Now, scope of the softscape design includes finalizing the specification for the trees, the plants, for both for exterior and interior areas, ground covers, grassing, planters, etc. Number 2 is providing the technical guidelines for planting and layout and spacing, and how much quantity takeoff, watering and fungus control and maintenance of this landscape. Designing of the golf course and other landscape sloping areas or uneven areas, and providing valuable inputs to the architects and MEP teams for the providing facilities in the softscape areas. What are the essential characteristics of a robust and beautiful softscape? Architecture and horticulture related aspects are like having a very scenic beauty of the landscape, contributing to the air purifications, selection of the plants, trees and shrubs, etc., based on the specifications given, and installation as the plant specifications, and aesthetically appealing in various spaces. Designing for efficient utilization of the softscape space in the landscape areas, introducing roof gardens as a new concept, bringing in green walls, and of course golf course contours and grassing quality meeting the international and national standards. MEP design related aspects in the landscape design are how to preserve the environments, stormwater management, cleaning of the soil and water, using of the lights as a powerful tool, and ease of maintenance of this landscape. Now, different type of materials which are used in the landscape are like trees and ground covers and grassing, as already stated. In this slide, I am going to share what are the different types of each of these landscape materials and what are the broad specifications which should be provided by the softscape designer. Now, in the case of trees, there are different kind of trees which are there. The most prominent one which are being used are for the landscape are the coconut, palm, oak, pine, and redwood, etc. And here the softscape consultant or landscape consultant is required to provide the specification in terms of the height, the stem, the trunk diameter, the branches, spread of those, canopy, which is called canopy, uniformity and fullness, leaves, flowers, fruits, etc., and the roots. These are required to be projected on a scale. Now, for the ground covers, these are required for the areas like garden, landscape, kitchen, inside rooms, work areas, etc., etc. And here there are different kind of types of ground covers like rubber, wandering Jews, beetle leaf, peace lily, fittonia, spotted plant, dummies, woolly rime, Irish moss, blue star creeps, Roman chamomile, ladies mantle, etc., etc. These you can find out from Google. There are other options or the botanical names for these different type of ground cover. These are Carolina, jasmine, carpet bungle, or ajuga, juniper, green and gold, lantana, mondo grass, etc. Within each of these they have the many options available. So here the for either of these types, the specifications required are to be in the sizes in inches or feet, the lighting requirements, the light requirements, whether these are required to be installed in the part shaded areas or partly or fully sunny areas, flower colors, shades, fragrance, added charm to the landscape, protection provided protection provided to the topsoil from the erosion and the drought, etc. Now grassing. Grassings, these are required either for the cool or for the warm season, and there are various specifications which are required, which are blade and color, texture, size, growth, water, etc., etc. For example, is in the blade, one has to specify what kind of blade is it going to be: flat, narrow, sharp, pointed, rounded, hair-like, V-shape, etc. The color, texture like soft, dense, dark green, pale green, spongy, pricky, etc. Size in terms of height and bunch type, quick, slow, water frequency, average or below average, and seasons. Few examples are like bent grass and fine fescue and catenary bluegrass, etc. They are required to be different sizes are required to be there for these. Now, then for the golf course, one has to golf architect, in fact, in this case, has to decide whether it is 9 hole or 18 hole, accordingly plan the specification and sizes for the different parts of the golf course. And usually, a golf course can be prescribed to have 6-7 major components as far as design is concerned. One is the tee box, which is the teeing around where the hole begins, fairway, which is 30 to 50 meters from the hole, with tight trimmed grass, the green, where each hole is located with cut short grass, the rough, an area which that surrounds the fairway and the longer grass, turf grass, if it is tough grass, the durability and drought tolerance is required to be prescribed, and if it is the turf choices are Bermuda or bent grass or fescue or zoysia, or these are different kind of grasses available which are normally imported by the various countries, and then hazards like ponds and lakes and creeks, etc. These are all required to be part of the golf course design, and I remember having gone through that. It's a very complex process. Planters, these can be either outdoor or indoor. Here were the planters can be of different types like ceramic, plastic, wooden, concrete, nursery, garden planters, urn, grow bags, window boxes, wall planters, vertical planting towers, hanging baskets, ring planter, and so on and so forth. For each of these different type of this, the Softscape consultant has to suggest the physical dimension, the shapes, the color, the texture, the weight, the strength, the weatherability, the durability, water circulation, and ant proofing, etc. These are all the requirements which are required to be there in a good Softscape comprehensive design. Now, how to incorporate the good design practice in the planting and installation of the Softscape materials? Mere procurement of this Softscape material is not good enough. These are required to be installed professionally and maintained professionally. Now here, good designers are expected to provide various guidelines for guying and planting of the trees and plants and ground covers and grass, fertilization, transplanting, watering, handling, pest control, fungicide control, and method of constructing the golf course, which is of course highly technical as already mentioned. Now, how to build quality in the designing process using design software? This horticulturist, they propose high quality choices with comprehensive specification for all these Softscape materials which I already talked about. Now, watering system has to be in coordination with the MEP team. Now, next point in this is that the software providing there are software which are available which must provide, irrespective of the choice of the software, they must provide inputs to the designers for designing of the swimming pools and ponds and water bodies, patios, fencing, driveways, for inputs for the lawns, landscape furniture, They must provide inputs for the landscape lighting and designing for the watering system. In each of this area itself, for example, lighting or swimming pool or watering system, there are very complex design computation required to be done, and this software must provide valuable inputs for these. Uh, Now there are softwares like Idea Spectrum, Real Time Landscape Pro, NCH Software, Dream Plan, Smart Draw, etc., which are various options available which designer can choose from. Now there are 5 stages of the design process which I am suggesting. Now irrespective of the stages, whether it is 5 or 6 or 4, the design must lead to building a softscape design which is very comprehensive and accurate, with the accurate in terms of the bill of quantities and the spacing between different plants. Must incorporate the customer requirement and meet the national and international quality standards for the material specification and guying and planting processes. It must integrate any statutory and safety requirement if there are any in the designing and drawing, particularly in terms of, for example, for the golf course, etc. It must optimize the project cost. It must enable efficient delivery of the specifications, design and drawings to the project team. And of course, it must provide for the maker and checker concept in the case of various stages of the design from 1 to 5 stages. In the first stage itself, I'm not going to share in any of these stages what are the exact steps process required within each, but I'm going to share what are the activities that can adversely impact the business, either financially or from ethical perspective. Now, not incorporating the inputs related to the trees or the plants or ground cover, etc., from the property owners or for the sales team or the design teams or the customer team in the case of hospitality industry can adversely impact the business, and using of the unlicensed software can lead to serious problems in the appropriate designing. Now here in this, some of these observations are marked with the asterisk mark. Now these can have at times statutory implications as well. Continuing in the design stage 1, in case the vetting of the concept design is not done comprehensively, or the softscape consultant or the horticulturist, they are in collusion with the in-house or outsourced horticulture consultant, and they skip the various important aspects of the designing. This can cause very serious impact on the quality of the softscape design and its ambience. For example, the compromises can be made in terms of the tolerance of the softscape material, or workmanship, or bill of quantities of softscape, or compromising on the quality standards and size and specifications and the safety requirements. Now, in case the designers they collude with the potential vendors, it can lead to a lot of problems in the design. Bribing the mandatory agencies, particularly when the entire project is a green building project related, there are requirements with respect to the softscapes in the case of certification, green building certification. So this is not a good practice. Developing of the detailed design. Now here, in case the compromises can be that the detailed design which is being drawn in terms of detailed specifications for these trees, plants, grasses, planters, etc., they are not aligned to the concept design which was designed in the previous stage 1. The softscape layout, spacing, quantities, etc., are either not specified or not given comprehensively or not presented pictorially in the design. The methods of the guying, watering, handling, pest control, transplanting equipment, fungicides control, and the method for developing golf course are not in sufficient details, which can lead to not complying with the perfect design process. Assigning the same landscape designer to develop the specification and drawings in this stage who develop the concept design, this can also lead to compromises in the design quality. And the compromising of the specification of the development of the samples of the materials, good horticulturist, a good softscape designer would obviously get the samples before ordering in bulk, because at times these are very expensive uh, uh, trees and plants, etc. So making any compromise at that stage can lead to a lot of problem to the business. Developing of the tenders. Now, tenders, diverse activities that can directly impact is that the designs and drawings which are drawn are not comprehensive, or they are prepared based on specific, keeping some specific vendors in mind for these various trees and plants, etc., and thus colluding with them and obtaining kickbacks from such vendors and compromising on the specifications of these softscape materials. And landscape designers or architects recommending only a single source for many of the plants which are otherwise pretty expensive. Or it could be the trees, it could be the plants, it could be the grass, turf, etc. So colluding with the single source and thus diluting the negotiating capability of the purchase team in return of the kickbacks from single vendors. Then tender drawings not being comprehensive and not specifying the quality standards, and inspection requirements with respect to each of the softscape material are not comprehensive. Stage 4 is estimating the cost of this. Now, as I have shared the various kind of bill of material for a landscape design, now these costing of these need to be on actual estimated quotes for these plants or trees or grassing or trees, the planters, etc., both for external area and internal areas, and one has to take into account the cost of this installation, laying of these plants, and that means including the labor component and the transportation and the installation costs, etc. Now, some designers, they are just giving the cost of the landscape based on lump sum cost per square foot basis, which is not all right, and it can lead to a lot of overruns in the cost estimations. Now, cost with respect to the installation and trees, plants, ground covers, they also need to be specified, particularly including the development of the golf course. Issuing of the as-built drawings. Now, once the design has been developed, the plan and installation and this laying of these trees, plants, etc., has been done, the designer need to develop the as-built drawing which are identical to the actual work done, rather than based on the drawings which were initially developed in the design stage 3, designing stage 3. So these must align. Otherwise, this can have strategy implication, particularly in case of green buildings, etc., where you need a certification, green building certification. Now, there are 21 activities overall that can adversely impact the business while designing the softscape, and more details of these can be found in my presentation in the my book called Ethics in the Real Estate and Hospitality Industry, Volume 1. Now, there are blogs available on the website also, where details are given in this slide. You can look at my Facebook, you can look at LinkedIn. This book is available in the both in the Kindle format and paperback format at Amazon.in and Amazon.com, and you can procure these through these sources. Thank you very much.